Picture two paychecks hitting two bank accounts on the exact same Friday. Same employer, same salary, same taxes withheld. On paper, they're twins. But one of those paychecks lands like oxygen. The other lands like a life raft and still sinks. Because in 10 years, one of these people is going to feel calm in a way money can't fake, and the other is going to look successful while quietly panicking at a $1,000 surprise. Here's the uncomfortable part. Their income isn't what separates them. What separates them is what happens in the 48 hours after payday. Let's tell it like a story. Meet Jordan and Casey. Same age, same city, same $80,000-ish household income. Same we should be doing fine feeling, at least at first. They don't know each other, but their lives run in parallel like two trains on neighboring tracks. Year 1. Jordan gets paid and the money pauses for a second, just long enough to disappear. Rent, car payment, subscriptions, a few we deserve this dinners. The month ends with the same weird mystery. Where did it all go? Casey gets paid and the money never pauses. It gets assigned. A transfer leaves the account before temptation shows up. Bills are covered. Then life happens with what's left, not what's hoped for. Same income, different script. And that difference compounds harder than any stock chart you've ever seen. If you've ever felt behind or ashamed or like everyone else got the secret manual, hear this clearly. You're not broken, you're not doomed, and you don't need a six-figure miracle to turn this around. You need a system that wins even on normal income. We live in a culture that treats income like a scoreboard. If you make more, you must be doing better. But making money and building wealth are two different games. One is offense, the other is defense. You can have a great offense and still lose the game because you keep turning the ball over. That's why so many high earners still report living paycheck to paycheck, not because they're lazy, because life can expand to match income like air fills a room. Raise your income and the room gets bigger. New neighborhood, new payment, new expectations, new normal. Suddenly, you're earning more than you ever imagined while feeling exactly as broke as before. So, what's actually happening? 3 silent leaks. Leak 1. Lifestyle inflation that feels reasonable. This one is sneaky because it doesn't start as I'm going to ruin my finances. It starts as finally a nicer car, finally the upgraded phone, finally the apartment that feels like an adult lives there, finally the vacations that look good on a feed. And none of it is evil. The problem is when finally becomes a monthly obligation. A payment is not a lifestyle. A payment is a leash. You don't feel it at first. Then one day you realize you don't own your income. Your income owns you. Leak 2 is debt payments that steal your future. Debt is time travel in reverse. It lets you enjoy tomorrow's money today and then forces future you to pay interest for the privilege. And the tragedy is how small it feels in the moment. It's only $200 a month. It's only $400. It's just how people do it. Stack enough only payments together and you create a second rent, a second mortgage, a permanent headwind. The rich and the broke can both make $80,000, but the broke version of $80,000 is $80,000 minus the payments, and the rich version of $80,000 is $80,000 minus the payments minus the ego tax.
Leak 3. Not looking. This is the one no one wants to admit because it's not dramatic. It's not a villain. It's a habit of avoidance. You check your account like it's a weather forecast. You hope it's sunny. You don't want to see the storm. And people routinely underestimate their spending, not because they're dumb, because humans are terrible at feeling the pain of digital spending. When the money doesn't leave your hand, it doesn't register the same way. It's quiet, it's frictionless, and it adds up in the background like a slow leak in a tire. So, here's the question. If these leaks are common, how does Casey break free while Jordan gets stuck? It's not luck. It's not a secret investment. It's not a personality trait you either have or don't. It's a small set of decisions made repeatedly, even when no one is watching. Zoom in on Casey's payday because this is where the whole story flips. Casey doesn't just save whatever is left. Casey saves first, automatically, on purpose, like it's rent. Because if saving is optional, it becomes invisible. If saving is automatic, it becomes inevitable. Casey builds a simple payday ritual with 3 moves. First, pay the future first. This can be 5%, it could be 10%. It can start at $50. The number matters less than the rule. The rule is the future gets paid before the present gets to party. Casey sets up an automatic transfer on payday, and yes, it hurts a little at first. That's how you know it's working. Second, buy margin. Margin is the space between what you earn and what you spend. It's the difference between an emergency destroyed me and that was annoying. Casey buys margin by keeping fixed costs boring. Not cheap, not miserable, just boring. A reliable car, not a status symbol. A home that fits the budget, not the fantasy. Subscriptions that are chosen, not collected. This is the part people misunderstand. Wealthy people often look normal. Because wealthy people aren't trying to look rich, they're trying to be free. Third, invest in assets, not applause. Casey treats money like a worker. Every dollar has a job. Some dollars buy stability, an emergency fund. Some dollars buy options, learning a skill, a side project, a certification. Some dollars buy ownership, broad index funds, retirement accounts, a business, real estate that actually cash flows. And the applause dollars? The ones spent to impress people who are too busy to care, those get cut first. Meanwhile, Jordan isn't irresponsible. Jordan is normal. Jordan also means to start. Jordan also believes next month will be better. Jordan also thinks the problem is income, not structure. But without structure, every raise becomes a bigger lifestyle. Every bonus becomes a temporary high. Every year feels like running faster on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Same income, different physics. Now, the twist that feels unfair. Time. 2 people can invest the same amount per month and end up in different universes because one started earlier. Not because they were smarter, because they started. When you invest early, you're not just adding money, you're buying years. Years where compounding does the heavy lifting while you're living your life. Years where your money starts earning money, which earns money, which earns money. Procrastination doesn't just delay wealth, it increases the cost of wealth. So, instead of chasing perfect, Casey chases consistent, and consistent beats perfect every time.
There's another layer here that rarely gets talked about. Even if money did solve every bill, it still wouldn't automatically create peace. Money doesn't change who you are, it amplifies you. If you're anxious, more money can become a bigger anxiety. If you're generous, more money can become more impact. If you're chasing approval, more money can become a more expensive costume. That's why some high-income households still feel tight. They're not buying security, they're buying an identity, and identities are expensive to maintain. Casey isn't chasing a number. Casey is chasing a feeling, freedom, options, margin, a life where a bad week doesn't become a financial crisis. Let's make this practical. If your income is normal and you want the rich outcome, start here. Track for 7 days. Not forever, just 7 days. Write down every dollar you spend. No judgment, no shame, just clarity. Because you can't fix what you can't see. Kill the highest interest debt first. If you have credit card debt, your money has a predator attached to it. Paying it off isn't just responsible, it's a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. Build a tiny emergency buffer. Even $500 is a shield, then $1,000, then a month of expenses, then more. This is how you stop emergencies from turning into debt. This is how you stop debt from turning into stress. This is how you stop stress from turning into bad decisions. Automate one win. Pick one transfer, one retirement contribution, one savings rule, one autopilot decision. Make your future boring and inevitable. When you get a raise, split it. Let yourself enjoy it because you're human, but don't spend the whole raise. Use some to upgrade your life. Use most to upgrade your future. That's how you turn income growth into wealth growth instead of lifestyle growth. 10 years later, Jordan and Casey still make similar income. That's the punchline. But Casey's life feels different. Casey has choices. Casey has margin. Casey can leave a job that turns toxic. Casey can handle a surprise expense without breaking. Casey can help family without destroying their own future. Casey can breathe. Jordan is still negotiating with the calendar, still timing bills around payday, still hoping nothing goes wrong. And it's not that Jordan is bad. It's that Jordan kept waiting for income to do a job that only habits can do. So remember this. Wealth isn't what you earn. It's what you keep and what you build with what you keep. Your paycheck is not your destiny. It's raw material. Starting today, even small, can rewrite the next 10 years in a way you can actually feel.